Open up your swaying motion from side to side a little bit bigger now. See if you can enjoy coming into a side body stretch. So I call this a freeze frame, where I kind of pause at the ends and extend the leg. Just try it, yeah. It's like we're gonna shoot the energy out on a diagonal from the elbow to the toes. Really good, guys. Fun. Okay, so that's number 1 and 2. How does that feel? Everyone feel like they got those? Yeah. Could easily do them again because they feel so good. Okay. So now we're going to take a break. Usually what I do is I have the swing underneath the arms for about 10 to 15 minutes in a class. And then you can see people are over it. They need a break. They'll start making the face, the little sourpuss face. And so we're going to come back to our sumo squat. So we release the leg loops. We stay seated the whole time. So the first thing I usually do is just pop forward, still hooking at the elbows into a wide straddle. And just stay right over your plumb line, Bob. So keep your feet in line with the beam. Okay? So you can always pull your mat back too if you like. Now drop the heart so the swing slides into the elbow creases. So this is just a nice supported forward fold. We're preparing for folded lead. So I sway from side to side. Just notice that the mats are round. They help us get out of our linear movements, and we want our gaze to trace the semicircular shape of the mat. So it's not just side to side, it's a little bit of a twist in there, a little bit of a spiral. Really nice, guys. Beautiful. Okay. So from here, there's a few different variations we can do. One thing I like to do is start to rock forward and back on my toes. So when I rock forward, it's like I start to press the hips forward. Whoa. And it can come into a peppermint patty. A peppermint patty is when I push my hips all the way down to the ground. It's a big hook with the shoulders. And then we rock back. Lift the toes slightly, get the hips over the heels. So let's do one more peppermint patty. You get the sensation. And then exhale back. Really good. Okay, so we're going to make, I'm just going to do a quick transition to turn around. So we're going to bring one hand down to the ground. Let's bring the left hand right underneath the chest. We're going to pull down strongly with the right to do a twist. Okay, so we're reviewing, it's number 2 in the yoga translations in the manual, but I'm just going over it a little bit more quickly. So I usually go into details around doing some dynamic strengthening and some Pilates-like moves. Okay, so we inhale and lengthen the spine, turning on axis, and then we exhale and we twist a little bit deeper, looking towards the sky. So we're looking up to the right if the neck will be happy like that. Okay, so we're just going to swing the arm overhead. So let it slide into the wrist. We straighten the arm, we swing it overhead, and then we're going to change sides. So we take the other arm, the left elbow, and thread it over top. So if all went well, we got the X out of the swing. Doesn't matter too much, but we're going to place the right hand down in the center. It's okay if the X is still there, or if you even got 2 X's. So we place the hand in the center. We pull left elbow down strongly, and we twist and we look towards the sky. So again, long line of energy from the tailbone to the crown of the head. So if our feet are about 3 feet apart, that's a good distance. You might want to pull it in just slightly, so it's not so much of a split. There you go. But then, Amy, you can come out. So 3 feet. Yeah, so the edges of the mat are a good reference. Really good. So right hand presses down, long line of energy from crown of the head to the tailbone, and then pull down with the left elbow and twist. It should feel really good. So if we create the space in the spine first and then twist on axis, we usually get a nice adjustment in the vertebrae. So this replaces our need for chiropractic. Although we love them, we can just visit them as a friend, as opposed to pain and need. Okay, so then we're going to come forward. We're going to slide the swing into the wrist one more time and just swing it overhead. Now, if you have an X in there, just get the X out. There you go. Hold on to the swing with both hands and drop down. So restorative, right? Yeah. Restorative version, we just drop the heart. We're not going to do strengthening in this pose. So we can sway a little bit from side to side like we did before. Now remember the angular momentum and the twisting, not just linear side to side. Beautiful, guys, that's it. Feel the difference? It just starts to open up different parts of the legs and different parts of the torso and body. Really good. So really gentle, make sure we don't go too far. Elbows are bent, so shoulders should be happy here. If the arms are straight, just try it. It's a much bigger stretch getting into the subscapula. We can bend the knees here as well. If somebody needs a little back support, really good, Bob. That looks great. Okay, we're going to inhale and press all the way up. Okay, so we come up to stand. Walk the feet together, and then we pull this thing down strongly. So with straight arms, it's going to be at the hip flexors. Really good. So not the bladder, not the belly. Doesn't like it as much. The hip flexors, where the leg inserts into the pelvis. Okay, so from here, we lean forward into a really basic forward fold. Feet can walk out hip distance. And then we just drop our head, bend the elbows, and hang. So if all went well, our head is close to the ground. Our elbows are bent, so there's no weight in the arms. And we're bending from the hip flexors with a really long torso. Now most people, in their forward folds, they're bending at their waist and they're curving their back. This allows for there to be more honesty in the full length of the spine and more lengthened space through the side body. Again, the idea and the goal is to get as much space in the vertebrae, in the full length of the spine as possible. So shake out the head, let the neck be relaxed. Notice if you're holding the neck, even if we're not using it in this position, that's a habit that you can see in people's bodies.
So you're talking right below the hip bone on the femur? Or
yes. Yeah, as low as it can comfortably go. Yeah, it'll tend to want to ride up in some of the poses, so we just kind of get it in the sweet spot. There is a spot that actually feels better than the others, although it's still intense, right? So instead of having the intensity on the underarms, we have the intensity at the hip flexors, where you're getting that pre-rocking session. So it will be a little bit uncomfortable at first, but in time you'll like it, I promise. So here, after we shake out the head, I want to clasp the hands behind the neck and pull straight down. So chin is gently tucked into the chest, and our crown of the head is pointing straight down. Okay? So Amy, for you to get more space, just walk your feet to the center of the mat. So feet are hip distance, walk them forward, yes. And now you can see your head's hanging more. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Okay, if you need more space, just walk your feet forward. So the head is not actually touching the ground. So Heather, the same thing, walk your feet forward to the center of the mat. All the way, keep going. Yep, there you go. Et voila, the head lifts up, right? Mm-hmm. Now clasp the hands behind the head if that's comfortable for you, and traction the neck. I rock my hips gently from side to side. I call this the happy dog, right? Like we're wagging our tail.
You could do this with 2 legs on each one.
With 2 legs?
With 2 of those things, so they're like 2 of these.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we do a version of that. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so you actually get the internal spiral of the legs. Yeah, we'll do that next. That's a really good variation. And then you can do the clasping of the hands behind the back, clasp the hands at the sacrum, and then pull the arms overhead. And then just try a gentle twist from side to side here. There you go. Keep draping the weight forward. You got it. That's it, Heather. There you go. Legacy pose. Always take a break from me. Let me know if there's any sort of adjustment you can do here. So, Amy, are your shoulders just tight in that position?
Yeah.
You're like, I don't
I'm being lazy and I'm tight.
I have too many muscles. So we're swaying it out. So the more that we just let gravity do the work, the gentle rocking, swaying motion, the more length and space we get in the body. Really good, guys. Okay, good. So folded leaf, right? We were just all building up to do the folded leaf. We bend our elbows, we come down onto our forearms, we can walk our feet back and float. Now in this position, I'm going to show you guys that you can spread out the swing. You can try to do it while you're floating. You just grab the front edge and you can put it over the belly and over the legs. If it gets tangled, it makes life very complicated. So try to keep it untangled. And then you'll notice that,
Oh.
yeah, there you go. That's for you, Heather.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, thank you, sweet Jesus. It's Christmas time. Yeah, so you can actually make it a little bit wider. It takes a little bit of doing, but you can usually either do it in the air. Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
Some people like that better. And you can actually get pretty fancy. I call it mermaid, because you can actually pull it all the way up to the boots.
Yeah.
So this would be more of I call this Superman when you're totally floating. But since we're playing and doing the restorative, just watch Bob's head.
Okay.
We're so used to having the whole room to ourselves. So this isn't exactly a folded leaf because we're not folding anymore. But that's a nice mermaid variation, man-made, that we can do. And so then we're going to bunch it back up, at least closer to the hips, so we can come into the folded leaf. This side, this side.
So you just hang it or you lift your legs up?
So I like to hang. So you think of an L shape with the body. Yeah. So in folded leaf, we're in an L shape. So you can make whatever variations you want, but you never bring your hips. So my feet are floating. They're not on the ground, so they're floating about a foot off the ground, ideally. Yeah. So we're floating in this one.
I think I'm too tall.
Yeah.
No. You're the same as everybody. Everybody has the same geometry. It's okay. You just bring your head down more and just bring your feet up. Yeah. Just bring your head down more like you're in an L shape. Bring your forearms down. And then just lift your legs. Yeah. Lift them. Feet forward. There you go. Yeah, it was just a pivot point at the hips with the swing spread out. So what we're going to do is we're going to bend the knees into the chest. Okay. The knees bend and bring them into the chest. Feet are kind of close to the sit bones. Okay. I like to bunch the swing up, so I'm just going to do that. You guys do what you want with it spread out. So from here, all of a sudden the top of our head's on the ground. You can clasp the hands behind the head, push the elbows down into a tripod, and we're in headstand. So that's how we go from a folded leaf into a supported headstand. Really easy, right? This is a no big deal headstand where the top of our head, the crown is being activated, but there's very little weight. The more you pull your knees into your chest, the less weight there is on the top of the head. So play with pulling your knees up, no higher than the hips, and how there's more weight, and then pull your knees down towards the mat, and there's less weight. Just play with that a little bit so you can adjust. Depending on the person, they may not like so much weight on the top of their head. Okay? Very nice. So this is really the only inversion I typically do in the restorative practice. There's other ones we can do, but let's do this one for a beginner class. And of course, from here you can come into a handstand practice or a dolphin, scorpion practice, all that jazz. If we want to hook our feet on the outside in, we can come into an upside down dog. Yep, keep the feet close to the glutes though, pull them down. Okay, if we pull forward, we're in an up dog. Really good, guys. Stretch the belly. Come onto the hands for that one. Really good. And then when we push back with straight arms, we're in an upside down dog. How we turn our dog upside down. And then pull forward, up dog. Stretch the belly. Exhale, press back. Upside down dog. It's a big shoulder stretch, so we make sure we do that nice and slow and engaged so the shoulders are happy. One more time. Inhale, pull forward. Nice big inhale, and then exhale, bring the feet down. Both feet. One at a time, we land in our down dog. So in our down dog, we're more in a V shape in the body. So wag the tail, happy dog. Sway from side to side. Notice you can do figure eights, loop-de-loops, infinity symbols, whatever. We have a lot more freedom in play in our down dog. This way. Beautiful, guys. Nice and mellow. Keeping it super chill. Awesome. Okay.